This room is about to be redesigned twice. Same room, same budget, same deadline. On one side, we have AI, fast, confident, and brutally cheap. On the other side, we have a real interior designer, slower, more expensive, but trained to catch the things AI might miss. And by the end of this video, we're going to find out one thing. Can AI actually beat a real designer? Here are the rules. Both sides get the exact same room. Both sides get the exact same budget, $1,500. Both sides get the same information. Room size, problems, style goal, and what this room actually needs to do. The AI will create a design plan using prompts, images, and product ideas. The real designer will create a design plan using experience, measurements, and actual sourcing. Then we build both plans as fairly as possible. At the end, we score them on 5 things: looks, function, budget control, buildability, and livability. Because a room that looks good online but fails in real life is not a dream room. It's a very expensive screenshot. This is the room. And right now, it has no strategy. The desk is fighting the bed. The lighting makes the whole space feel flat. The corner is completely wasted. The storage is random. The cables look like they're planning a prison break. And the biggest problem is this: the room has to do too many jobs at once. It needs to be a bedroom, a workspace, a place to relax, a place that looks good on camera. And somehow, it still needs to feel clean. That is where this challenge gets interesting, because AI is great at giving you a beautiful image, but a real designer has to think about movement, use, safety, cost, materials, and how people actually live in the space. Interior designers are not just picking pillows. They're trained to make indoor spaces functional, safe, and beautiful, while considering things like lighting, materials, building codes, inspection rules, and accessibility. So here is the brief we gave both sides. The room should feel warm, modern, and expensive, without actually being expensive. It needs a proper work zone, better lighting, hidden storage, a cleaner bed area, a background that looks good on video, and it cannot feel cramped. No custom construction, no luxury cheating, no fake render items that don't exist. Everything has to be something we can actually buy or build within the budget. And to make this fair, we measured the room first. Wall to wall, window to door, outlet positions, desk size, bed size, walkways. Because this is where a lot of AI room designs start to fall apart. A design can look perfect in a generated image, and then the furniture arrives, and suddenly the perfect layout blocks a closet, covers an outlet, or leaves you with a walkway the size of a shoebox. First up, AI. We gave it photos of the room, the measurements, the style goal, and the budget. And almost instantly, it started doing what AI does best. It gave us options: a minimalist version, a cozy version, a luxury hotel version, a dark modern version, and one version that looked like a tech founder moved into a candle store. But speed is the AI's biggest weapon. Tools like IKEA Creative and Planner 5D already show how AI and computer vision can help people scan rooms, erase existing furniture, place new products, generate layouts, and visualize spaces in 2D, 3D, or photorealistic renders. So after just a few minutes, the AI had a complete direction. Warm neutral walls, floating shelves, a new desk zone, LED lighting, a rug, a low bed frame, and a gallery wall. On screen, it looked incredible. But there was one issue. The AI was designing the room like a picture, not like a place someone has to live. AI risk: looks real, works real. Then the real designer got the exact same brief, and immediately the process felt completely different. The AI started with style. The designer started with questions. What time of day is the room used most? Do you work here every day? What needs to be hidden? What do you reach for constantly? Where does your eye land when you walk in? Which wall is the camera background? What is annoying you most about this room right now? And honestly, that part felt slower, less exciting, less flashy, no instant wow moment. But then the designer pointed at the floor and said, if we put the desk there, the room looks better, but you'll hate using it. That is the human advantage. A designer is not just creating an image, they're predicting friction. The Bureau of Labor Statistics lists duties like determining client goals, considering how people move through a space, specifying materials, estimating costs, creating timelines, ordering materials, and overseeing installation. That is not a mood board. That is operations. At this point, I thought the designer had the smarter plan. But then the AI did something that changed the whole challenge. It found a layout we had not considered. Instead of putting the desk against the obvious wall, it moved the work zone across the room and used the bed as a visual anchor. On the render, it made the room look bigger, cleaner, more premium, more intentional. And the designer actually paused, because the AI had found a strong idea. But now we had to answer the real question. Was it smart? Or was it just beautiful nonsense? Now we move into the most dangerous part of any room makeover: shopping. This is where budgets go to die. The AI list looked amazing. Aesthetic lamp, perfect rug, floating shelves, minimalist desk, warm bedding, statement chair, plants, wall art, LED strip, storage boxes. But once we started checking the real products, the cracks appeared. Some items were too expensive. Some were the wrong size. Some had delivery dates after the shoot. Some looked premium in the product photo and suspiciously tragic in the reviews. This is where the human designer got ruthless. Cut the trendy chair, keep the better lamp, buy the bigger rug. Use closed storage instead of open shelves. Spend less on decor, more on lighting. And that decision matters because design is not just what you buy, it's where you allocate capital. AI can generate inspiration quickly, but design professionals warn that AI can miss real-world constraints like measurements, functional layouts, budgets, available materials, and building or safety requirements. Now the room gets destroyed. Everything comes out. The old desk, the random storage, the dead plants, the cables, the chair that has somehow survived 3 different life eras. And suddenly, the room looks even worse. This is the part transformation videos always hide with a montage. But this middle phase is where most projects either become real or become chaos with a paint roller. We start with the AI layout. Tape on the floor, furniture zones marked, desk here, bed here, rug here, storage here, and for about 30 seconds, the AI looks like a genius. Then we push the chair back, and it hits the bed. That tiny detail changes everything. Because if you have to squeeze sideways every time you sit down, the room is not designed, it's decorated. Then we found problem number 2. The AI wanted a rug that looked incredible in the render. But in the real room, the edge landed exactly where the chair rolls and where you walk into the room. That sounds small. But small safety details are part of real design. Qualified interior designers may account for things like slip and fall risk, exit pathways, accessibility, safe materials, and code-related issues, especially in more regulated spaces. Even OSHA's workplace safety standard says walking surfaces should be kept clean, orderly, dry where feasible, and free of hazards. Now, this is a home bedroom, not a factory floor, but the principle is the same. A room should not quietly attack your ankles. So the designer changed the rug size and position. Less dramatic in the render, much smarter in real life. At the halfway point, here's where we stand. AI wins speed, not even close. It gave us more visual directions in minutes than a human could reasonably sketch in the same time. AI also wins inspiration. If you feel stuck, it is amazing at breaking the blank page problem. But the designer is winning execution. The designer caught clearance issues, budget trade-offs, material choices, storage logic, lighting layers, and the boring stuff that decides whether you still like the room in 3 months. This lines up with what we found in the research. AI tools are increasingly useful for visualization, early concepts, and communication, but human review is still recommended when the output affects real projects. Even in architecture, a 2025 AIA report found that only 6% of professionals regularly used AI at work, and nearly all surveyed professionals had concerns about things like inaccurate outputs, security, authenticity, and transparency. So the real contest is not, can AI make a pretty room? It can. The real contest is, can AI make the right room? Now we try the most interesting version of the challenge. We let the designer keep the best AI idea, but fix the parts that fail in real life. The AI's strongest idea was the new work zone, so we keep that. But the designer changes the desk depth, moves the lamp, rotates the storage, changes the rug, simplifies the wall art, and swaps open shelves for closed storage, because open shelves look amazing for one day and then slowly become a museum of random cables, receipts, and emotional damage. This is where the hybrid version starts to win. AI gave us direction. The designer gave it discipline. And that matters because human oversight is one of the core ideas in serious AI governance. The EU AI Act's guidance on high-risk systems emphasizes that humans should understand AI limitations, avoid over-reliance, correctly interpret outputs, and be able to override them. This project is not a high-risk AI system, but the lesson applies perfectly. Do not let the machine drive if nobody is watching the road. Now, the room finally starts to transform. The lighting changes everything. Instead of one harsh overhead light, we add layers. Desk light, warm ambient light, accent light behind the shelf, soft light near the bed, then texture, bedding, curtains, rug, wood tones, a few objects that make the room feel lived in without making it feel cluttered. And then the most underrated part of any room, storage. Because if a room has no storage plan, it does not stay beautiful. It just borrows beauty for the reveal. The AI gave us the dream. The designer made sure the dream had drawers. Before we show the final room, remember where we started. This room had no flow, no strong focal point, bad lighting, random storage, and a layout that made every task feel slightly annoying. Now, open the door. This is the final room. The work zone has its own identity. The bed area feels calmer. The lighting makes the room feel warmer. The storage is hidden. The camera background is cleaner. And the whole space finally feels intentional. But the biggest difference is not the decor. It's the friction. You can move through the room. You can sit down without fighting the bed. You can work without staring into visual chaos. You can actually maintain it. That is what the render could not prove. So who won? If we judge only speed, AI wins. If we judge only first impression, AI is dangerous. Because it can make something look expensive before you've checked if it even fits. But if we judge the full room, beauty, function, budget, buildability, and livability, the winner is Desinger with 4 points. But here's the real takeaway. AI did not replace the designer. It replaced the blank page. It gave us ideas faster than a human could. But the designer turned those ideas into a room that actually works. So the future is probably not AI versus designers. It is people who know how to use AI versus people who trust AI too much. And that is a very different competition. Comment below which side you think made the biggest difference, AI speed or human judgment. And if this video gets 500 likes, we'll do this again with a kitchen, a bathroom, or the worst room you can possibly send us.